People Real Matters. This is Diana Tulchinsky with my first guest, Tamara Dominguez. Tamara, please tell me, where were you born in Europe?
First of all, good morning to our audience. Thank you for the invitation. And I will tell you about my biography that I was born in country Georgia. That time, Georgia was part of Soviet Union. Nowadays, we're independent country. So I was born in capital city of Georgia, Tbilisi. So Georgia is located on the coast of the Black Sea, and we are bordered from the north part by Russia and from the south by Turkey. That is my country.
Interesting. And when did you start playing the piano?
I started playing the piano when I was 5 years old, but I entered the special music school. That time it was named School of Gifted Children when I was 6 years old. And I started my professional study at school. And I spent there many years until 19.
Oh, interesting. So, how were your parents, pushing you into piano? Did they want you to become a medical doctor, for example, or just music was their passion?
Do you know, from parents, I do not remember that they have some special desire about me, who I will be in my life and what profession I will have in future. But do you know, we are music-loving family. My parents loved music. We had all-time music at home. We were singing a little bit, playing. So I started my study, and do you know, after first success, when I had a performance on the stage, I felt that I love this. I should do this. I should be pianist. I should study, and I should play concerts, performances, and enjoy myself and make people happy.
Interesting. How about your high school and college years like? Were you determined to be a musician or a piano teacher or a performer, or how did you end up being where you are at now?
So first of all, we started play the piano, and we were performers. Pianists. We had all-time recitals, examinations, we play our programs. And after we entered conservatory, so on high level courses, there was pedagogic studies and teaching, yes. And I decided myself to be a teacher in future, you see, beside to play performances. It will be good experience to be a teacher too. And that's why I started my teaching businesses.
Interesting. And do you have a performer relative in Georgia that sings in opera, or do you have a family connection to that?
Yes, I have a relative, and he is a very famous singer. He was in his time, and even by his name is named Tbilisi State Conservatory, where I studied. So his name is Vano Sarajishvili, and you cannot imagine, I think all Georgian knows his name. And in his time, he was so much beloved by people that he was nicknamed Nightingale, Georgia's Nightingale.
Interesting.
Yes, and when he was performing in our Tbilisi Opera House, hall was overcrowded by people, and he was singing on such big opera houses, stages as La Scala in Milan, Metropolitan in America, and like that, yes.
Very fascinating. And tell me, when did you end up going to America your first time? When did you explore the United States?
Yes, I explored United States first time. It was 1990, still Soviet Union, and it was a really great occasion that very big group of Georgian people came here. It was connected that my country, in Georgian, we call Sakartvelo, but in English it's translated and we call Georgia. And we are country Georgia. In here, America is a state Georgia, and these two Georgias became friends. And it was exchange program by Friendship Force. So 300 Americans came to Georgia, and 300 Georgians, we came here and we spent 2 weeks. We visited Atlanta, Georgia, and also Washington, D.C., and it was huge experience. It was a huge expression that absolutely different country. I explored the time, and I told myself, yes, America is a really super country.
Yes. And tell me, like, when did you end up going to Paris?
So after I make done my studies at Tbilisi Conservatory, I studied there at piano department, and I made my master degree. After that, I started practice and work at musical college. I had students. I was playing duets with my friend, pianist, Tamara, and before Paris, we went to London to play some concerts, piano duets, and it was really amazing because our program was very different, full with different pieces, and people who attended our recitals, they loved our program and performance very much. So after I went back to Georgia, after a while I decided to go to Paris and to make some kind of qualification at Paris Conservatory. And I was attended classes, master classes of great French pianists such as Yves Henry, Jacques Rouvier, and I had great experience. I listened their lessons and I became more close to this French music, French technique, how to play. They have little bit difference from our school where I studied, and it was a really great experience for me. And I stayed in Paris 4 years. Beside my qualification, I had students there too. I was playing some different places for different occasions, so it was a really great time for me.
Can you tell me, like, what's the difference between Western Europe and like Eastern Europe and America? Like, what are the qualifications to be a professional musician, and what are the opportunities for students and I would say professional piano teachers?
Do you know, methodology is a little bit different because it depends on nationalities, it depends on that country's folk music, as different national music. Its influence then on music itself and to teaching methodology. I can say that as composer Bach in West and in Germany, his music was influenced by religion music that time and polyphonic and all of this technology which he used. This is from Germany, you see, country. And I can say about Chopin, Eastern Europe, when he lived in Poland, his music depends on Polish folk music. He used to write mazurka, polonaise, such forms, you see, because that is connected with Polish traditions and influences he had from that. That's why music can be a little bit different for different composers and methodology too, you see. They are pianists, they created their methodology, and nowadays we use all of these schools. We call schools, different schools. And in America is different school, which is very interesting for me. And I used to quickly pick up all of this, how they are teaching here, what books and everything they used to have successful teaching.
Interesting. And tell me like the different opportunities if you have a bachelor's or a master's in music theory versus in Western Europe. How big in America is like the piano and playing and performances?
Do you know, very popular here in America. I can see that people love music. They know very well and classical music and popular music and parents and families, they are motivated to teach their kids to give such musical education. And it's great what I can notice and myself what I can express. This is a great role they have in their life, music, to put music in kids' life and kids' schedule to make them raise and educate them cultural and music lover people.
And who's your favorite musician?
I have a lot of, but here from America, of course, everybody loves Van Cliburn. He was iconic pianist and always great, but a lot of different pianists from different countries, and we have Georgians, great pianists too. I love them. I'm listening their performances.
And what was your first job? Like how in America, like how did you come to the United States officially and immigrate from Paris, London to here?
Yes. Do you know, from Paris, from London, I went back to Georgia, and I was thinking when I was traveling to United States that it will be permanently. I will travel, I will meet my friends, I will see cities beautiful as New York, Boston, DC again. But it happened that I met my future husband here, David Dominguez, and I stayed for all of my rest life in America as I created my family. And I started working, of course, as a piano teacher again. And first my experience and job here was in Glenview. That time was a company called Dynamic Music. I applied as a piano teacher. They accepted me and they gave me class, several students, and I started. But besides this, I started myself to go some senior lifestyle houses, introducing myself that I'm a musician, I'm a pianist, I can play recitals, I can make a trial play, and you will see how your residents love my program, my performance, and it worked. Everybody was very welcome to me, and I was playing recitals time by time in different places. And it was great because people loves music and people loves my performances, and I was really, really happy.
How did you like playing in front of senior audiences? Like, do you have any seniors coming and say, like, I want to relearn the piano or listen to the piano? Like, it helps me with, like, memory or cognitive functioning?
Do you know, I have students all of ages. Seniors I have absolutely little ones, 3, 4 years old. And of course, different books, methodology I use with different ages of students. And the seniors, they loved, even I have seniors who never played before piano, and I started in their old ages, and they are doing great.
And also, like, do you have any tips for, like, parents or students who are interested in professional music theory and becoming professional pianists?
So my tips are practice, practice, practice. If you want to play very well, if you want to, it doesn't matter you will be in future life pianist, musician or not. You should practice, you should study, and you should follow up my program. That's it.
And do you have any like contests your students won in the United States or in Europe? Like, do they travel or they won like some kind of level of high expertise?
Yes, I had a student. Now she is raised and she made great competitions. She won a Grand Prix. She was very successful. Here in America, I have very good students. They are doing great too. They practice. They are going for examinations to make some levels, some certificates, to take part in festivals. We have every year grand recitals, and they are playing. So I'm very delighted by my students.
Interesting. And like, how long does a student have to practice? Like, what's like your typical, like 2 hours a day, or like how do you pressure the parents in focusing on the piano?
It depends on age of student and also program. If program is big, it needs more hours of practice and study. For beginners, I'm telling them that even 5 minutes you will find per day, 10 minutes, go to piano, open your piano, take it and practice, and start to make such habit, you see, that you see piano, go and play, yes, and it works. Then they are raised and they are starting themselves to add minutes and hours to, and to studies and big programs.
Yes, I understand. And how does a student end up like reading the sheet music? Like how do they start? Like from like a little kid or like even 12? Like how do you begin that?
So it's for all ages. Students exist program. You see this we call sight reading, and we have special books, and we are following, we are practicing, we are opening, and we are studying. It's a basic theory part of music, play the piano or any other instrument. It's basic. We are starting from notation, reading, understanding, and from music to bring on the keyboard.
Interesting. And then do you like have any advice for like a medical or like nurses? Like how does like music help with math and science, for example?
Music helps in everything. I can say it's so great skill that kids are starting to think differently, more quickly, to find solution, and in mathematics and in another subjects, languages. It helps so much because we developed oral skills, and they can catch by ear new languages. They catch songs, words. They doing this so quickly, and everything helps this study of music and piano.
And what's the earliest age have you taught a student?
So from 3 years, I have 3 years students, and they are doing great. I'm very happy to have them in my class.
And how do you like working in the Glenview area, like especially the North Shore versus, I guess, Paris or London? Like your students came
Yes.
from all over.
Yes, different, little bit different from Europe here, and lifestyle and everything, but Americans are very lovely people. I love to be co-worker with them, to be connection with my students' families, and to make their kids music lovers first of all. If they will be musicians, professional musicians, of course I will be more happy. But if it is not happen, this music and this study will follow them all of their life.
Nice. And do you do anything for Northwestern University? Do you play there?
Yes, I play, and I started kinder music classes from 2 years ages. They are starting study music and all of these components such as rhythm, modes, major, minor, tempo, fast, slow. So
nice.
they are starting study this, and it's great by songs, by special methodology from Kinder Music University. I follow their program, and it's really very helpful. And do you know, scientists, doctors, a lot of researchers exist that when the study of music is starting from early childhood, it helps these kids to develop their brain absolutely differently. And even they are protected in old ages from
Alzheimer's and
very
dementia, yes.
scary diseases,
Yes.
Alzheimer, and no, it never happened with them because they started music from early childhood.
And tell me, how many students do you have in your studio?
Do you know, so as in my studio, only one teacher, I am myself, and I have no another teachers. I can hold 40 students, and it's not easy, but I managed to put them in my very busy calendar and schedule, because beside of this teaching and my company, Domi Piano Music School, I work for United Methodist Church as a pianist in Oak Park. I play on Sundays, but we have special days, special occasions in the church, and I need myself to practice, to study, to be ready. And this Northwestern has its program, so I can say that my schedule really busy, and I work 7 days, no day off.
And do you have any plans to go back to Georgia or reunite with your family? You have a son there, I believe.
Yes, I have son. His name is Grigol Kalandadze. He's 30 years old. He is doing great. He is professor at Georgian International University. He is head of international relations, and also he teaches the political psychology. It's a little bit different field from my profession, but yes, he's doing great, and in future I hope that he will move in America with his family. He has wife, daughter, but of course I travel to meet my family and to spend some holidays with them, but generally I live here as my husband David is here, and we have
nice.
our little family.
Tell me, how did you end up like trying to go into the American lifestyle and finding a husband, especially? Tell me the fun story.
Yes, it's really a fun story. So as I arrived here, and I went first to my friend's house, Zia Gibson. She lives in Wichita, Kansas, and I spent in her house 1 month. Then I came here with my old students' family connected, and they invited me in Chicago. So I started here my performances in senior lifestyle houses, my teaching, everything, and I thought myself, so great city, Chicago. I wish to stay here all of my rest life, and how I could stay alone. It's not fun to live alone, and I find David by dating websites, and we started dating. We met each other in Highland Park in coffee shop, and I can say that it was love from the first sight. I met him, and in 1 year our relationship we ended by marriage, and we are married for 5 years.
Wow, very fascinating. And
yes.
tell me, how do you like the Glen, living there?
Oh, it's very fun and amazing to live in Glen and Glenview. I love Glenview. I'm telling David that I cannot imagine to live somewhere different places. Do you know, because David from Denver, he is born and raised in Denver, and when he made his master's degree at Northwestern University, at that time he came here and stayed, and sometimes he's talking with me that maybe we will move again to Denver, and I'm telling him, yes, I like Denver, but I cannot imagine myself somewhere, only Glenview. And Glen, especially, so beautiful, so amazing. One street, but city.
How is it different than Paris? Like, Paris is very like old-fashioned.
Yes.
But the architecture is very like Western Europe there.
Yes. Paris is different. London is different. Every city is very beautiful and attractive itself. But now I can say that I'm in love with Chicago.
Oh, great. Thank you, Tamara, for this wonderful biography of your life.
Thank you so much, Diana, for invitation, for having me here. And it was really very interesting for me too, this conversation, and to talk with people who live in Glenview.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for watching Real People, Real Matters. This is Diana Tulchinsky with Tamara Dominguez.